The way JPMorgan hires is generally using Code for Good hackathon. So this hackathon, there are two big events that happen. So cleared these tests, we were invited for an AI interview. So if you have been practicing coding, basically DSA coding from lead code, easy to medium questions, they were similar to that.
Hi everyone, my name is Pankaj and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we have Sushant Srivastav with us. So he's placed in JPMorgan Chase. So in this video, he will be telling his selection process and interview experience of JPMorgan and Chase. So make sure you watch the video till end, and in case you are new to this channel, please subscribe to this channel. So now let's start this video with a brief introduction of Sushant.
Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you for having me in your YouTube channel. So, hi everyone. My name is Sushant Srivastav. I am a fourth-year student at VIT Vellore, pursuing computer science and engineering. So, I am also an beta MLSA, which is an ambassador program from Microsoft. And recently, I was able to crack JP Morgan Chase as a full-time employee, and will be interning in February this year.
Okay. So congratulations, Sushant, for getting placed in JP Morgan. So now can you give an overview of selection process of the JP Morgan entire selection process? Can you give an overview?
Yes, sure. So the way JP Morgan hires is generally using Code for Good hackathon. So in recent years, JP Morgan has been hiring with the hackathon itself as their final step. And then this is not conventional to other companies because the whole process takes around 4 to 5 months to complete. So for me, in 2022, we started from March. On the first week, we got the mail from our campus recruitment team. We filled out details, we filled out resumes, and we were shortlisted on that. And then we were provided an link for online test. If you clear those online tests, you will be provided with an AI interview, which was around last week of March. After these two steps, we will be shortlisted among all the things, and we will be eliminated according to how we perform in these rounds. Furthermore, we get a list of the people who will be performing in the Code for Good hackathon. So this was around mid of May when we knew who will be going to the hackathon. And then my hackathon date was around the first week of June, and the overall result took around 30 to 45 days for the selection process to finish, and then we got to know who were shortlisted for the employee as well as interns for that year.
Okay. So now coming to first round of selection process. So can you tell in detail about the first online round? What kind of questions were asked and what was the pattern of this first round?
Okay, so if you have been practicing coding, basically DSA coding from lead code, easy to medium questions, they were similar to that. Our platform was HackerRank, so we were asked two questions. One of these were related to hash map, so it was a salesperson problem where we need to pick some random IDs provided the value of M, and it was a medium level question. I cannot recall the next question, but these are the level of questions. If you have been practicing medium questions fluently, then you'll be able to crack this online test.
Okay. So can you tell the topics on which these coding questions has been asked?
As far as I've asked my friends, they were basically having same questions. So if you have been learning collections from Java, like maps, sorted list, sorting, array strings, questions are mostly from them. And I don't think there are very difficult questions from DSA that are asked, like trees and all. And I would say they are medium level questions, and you might not need to do all of it. But the important thing is you get 1 hour to do two questions, so your time is also monitored on how fast you are able to solve these questions.
Okay. So this was about the first online round, coding round. So now coming to the second round, what was the second round and what were the questions asked in this second round?
So for this, after the online test, whoever cleared these tests, we were invited for an AI interview. So AI interview is something done on a platform called HireView. So they take in some questions which is pre-recorded. So you'll be shown with the questions, four to five questions in general, and you are supposed to record yourself and answer them accordingly. And you'll be given a preparation time of around 30 seconds to prepare for each answers, and then you can submit your answer. So one of those questions, if I can remember, where for example, if you have been working in an internship or past project, what were the problems that you faced during that tenure, and how you overcame with that with a suitable solution. And they were generally asking about your introduction, how you feel active in the company working, and what are your strengths related to that. So these are basic questions that you can prepare beforehand itself.
Okay. So this will be recorded and there will be a fixed time frame for each questions, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now can you tell about the next round in detail?
Okay, so after our AI interview, I think this was a long break after this. So we got our next round of selection, that was around second week of May, where we were told on how many people were going to perform in Code for Good. So around from I am not sure about the number of applicants from VIT, but around 140 plus people got selected for the hackathon, and the date were the first week of June.
Okay. So now can you tell in detail about hackathon? What kind of project were assigned or what kind of process were there in the hackathon?
Yes, sure. So the hackathon. So Code for Good is a social good organization based hackathon where these SGOs come along with real problem statement what they are facing. So JP Morgan picks out these problems from the NGOs that have been working in India. They look into a lot of real time problems and they bring the problem statement into the board where a lot of people from the team. For example, this year there were altogether 800 participants, and we were divided into 100 teams. So each team had around 8 members. So each team were given one of these problem statement from these SGOs. Around 10 to 15 and SGOs were there this year, and they had their own problem statement. So there was a round where they came aboard and they explained their problem statement and what sort of solution that they are expecting. So we get this problem statement a day before, and then we get around 24 hours of time where we will be getting ready to what problem statement we are going to get, and we will be preparing for this solution. Also, talking about this hackathon specifically, so it starts generally 1 week earlier, where you have a mentor meeting where you meet your mentor. So there are two mentors assigned who are an associate or VP from JP Morgan itself, and these will be there throughout the process of the hackathon, and they will be helping you with all the problems that you will be facing. We also had some mentorship events about how we can uh, benefit more on the solution that we are preparing for the hackathon. And this way, this is something to prepare us, and there is some workshops assigned as well to help us ace this hackathon. And furthermore, this was something that happened before the hackathon itself, and then on the morning of hackathon, we were all assigned with the we were actually given a choice on what SGOs we want to choose, and according to our choices we were allotted one of these. And once we get this, we need to make sure that we have a team of a proper tech stack. So it is very important that since there are around 8 students from all over the country who can come from various colleges, so it's very important to match all the things from your teammates and have a team bonding within themselves. So if you know your team members before, if you know the tech stack, you'll be able to better prepare on what all you need to speak. So after this, if you are able to grasp everything early on, you can think of a tech stack, you can think of a solution, you can start working on that solution itself, and then proceed towards the hackathon.
Okay. So in this hackathon, is it individual participation also matters or it's a whole group presentation?
Say this hackathon is merely to judge your interpersonal skills, your leadership skills, your team management skills. All of these are judged. You are judged on your technical skills as well, your development skills, because these things will make sure that you have a final product in the end. And it is also an team-based event, because if you're not able to think and go around on what all solution you need to prepare, if you're not ready for to face the challenges, if you're not ready to learn something new and prepare a solution, I think these points are also something that you need to look on.
Okay. So now after this hackathon round, what was the next round?
So during this hackathon, there are two big events that happen. So these are the two interviews that are taken from these mentors. So the first one is about the technical round. So you'll be asked technical questions. You will be asked about the process. You will be asked about the project that you're doing, what all problem statement you have got, how you're ideating on the process, and how you're thinking of a solution. If you know your team members properly or not, what tech stack you're using, why are you using that particular tech stack, what sort of solution you're planning. So something related to technical details. And the second interview was generally a non-technical based the discussion round where you were supposed to answer some questions about JPMorgan itself. If you are interested in being an employee, on what all things do you think the team is better on, what all solutions that you're planning from your project, and what all are the expectations from the project that you are creating. So these were the questions that happen, and I think these two are one of the most important rounds that happen in this hackathon, because even if you do not win the hackathon itself, if you perform these interviews well, you are ready to go as an intern and or full-time employee at JP Morgan.
Okay. So did they ask any DSA question in this interview?
As far as I would say, for me, they were basically questions related to sorting, like bubble sort and heap sort, their differences. But talking to my peers, I found out some of these mentors were asking difficult DSA questions, which can be tricky at times. But it completely depends on a mentor what they want to ask and what all things they are seeking from you to know.
Oh, oh. So what was the next round after this?
So after this, there are two judging rounds. First one is technical judging, where they see your tech stack, they see what all solutions you have prepared, what all development you have done in these 2 days. After this, there is a final judging round where they announce the winners of this hackathon itself.
Okay, okay. So what was the total duration of this entire process, like
So
selection?
this was around for 2 days. It was merely starting from 4th June and 5th June. So by the end of 5th June, you get to know who are the winners of that hackathon.
Oh, okay. So now coming to tips and suggestions. So if someone is preparing for JP Morgan or someone is going to appear for the interview of JP Morgan, what are the tips and important note he need to remember before the interview or the selection process of JP Morgan?
Okay, so as I added in the earlier part, so if you're preparing from easy to medium questions from your third year itself, you'll be able to solve these questions. These are somewhat easy to medium DP level questions. They can be asked about stack. They can be related to your set, the linked list, and sorting. These all questions would be there, and you can expect these to be there. So if you have been preparing since a few days, maybe starting from at least 4 to 5 months of coding every day would help you to solve these easy to medium level questions. So this was the first round. Next, talking about the interview processes. So if you're preparing for the AI interview, I would say you get some of the sample questions online itself. The only thing is you need to ace it by answering confidently. You need to be positive towards your answer. You need to be having proper method of speaking. You should not have a lot of breaks while you're speaking. So since it is an AI based, they'll be judging you accordingly, and it happens automatically, so you cannot control it. Moving on to the interviews that happen during the hackathon, these are the important ones. So I would say, since they will be asking for us about your development skills first of all, so it's very important for code for good itself that you know some sort of development. So if you know you have cleared around your AI interview, so you get a gap of around 1 month duration. So if you do not know anything related to development, app development or a web development, maybe you can take some courses and start preparing for it, so that you at least have something as a contribution to your teammates, which will be used as a solution. Because since there are 8 to 9 members itself, it's very important to choose a particular tech stack, and you should not be afraid of trying something new, because there may be 5 or 6 people who want web development, and you can be 3 to 4 members who wants app development. So if you're not ready to web development, maybe you can you'll want to add something that you know already, prepare it overnight, and at least contribute something there. So this was for hackathon. Moving on to the interview. So they will be asked, it will be somewhat like a discussion, because you will be knowing your mentors since they are talking to you from a few days. So it's very important that you highlight your leadership skills, you highlight your contribution, you highlight what all things you have done. It's very important for you to prepare what all things you are going to speak. So before, and if you are thinking about technical skills, so maybe apart from these DSA questions, you can prepare on what all projects you have prepared. You can work on it and how you are going to highlight it. Maybe you'll be asked some specific questions related to your projects. So these things you can prepare beforehand on what all things you have done in these 4 years. It's also important to have equally involvement in extracurricular activities, because these are the things that will be helping you to speak confidently, to show your leadership skills, to show your team management skills. And the next interview is generally non-technical. It may be technical as well. So you must be ready on some basic questions about JP Morgan itself. You may be asked what the company does, what all things they are doing, some tech stack that they have been using. So you can prepare these questions beforehand, and I think you will be good to go for this hackathon.
Okay. Okay. So thank you, Sushant, and for coming to this channel and sharing your selection process and interview experience of JP Morgan. I hope this will be helpful to viewers. So thank you once again for coming and sharing your experience.
Thank you, Pankaj. It was a pleasure for me to add my points and guide some of these students who will be an upcoming employee and intern at JP Morgan. Thank you.